guys, so welcome to tea time. Today we're going to be doing something that a lot of you have requested. Playing with Jana. Jana, you want to go play with toys in the living room?
Yeah.
Okay, go play with toys in the living room. You need to finish eating your oranges too. So, you all have requested to cook with me. That needs to be turned down. So today we are cooking. Now I'm kind of in the middle of a test of this already. You see, Valentine's Day is next weekend. Not this weekend, thank God, next weekend. And I'm a little bit strapped for cash this year. So in trying to figure out what I'm going to do for Valentine's Day, I'm having to go through and, well, penny pinch. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to give a very thoughtful or creative gift. In fact, the exact opposite. It means I'm going to be giving homemade something. So, this is the point at which I have to say, Marshall, if you're watching this, shut it off. You're not allowed to watch. Not until after Valentine's Day, because you're not allowed to spoil your gift. So, I'll give you a couple of seconds. I'm going to be really mad at you if you're still watching at this point. Okay, guys, we're making handmade chocolates. When I say handmade chocolates, I mean I'm not making the chocolate itself from scratch. What I am going to be doing, however, is forming the chocolates and taking pre-made chocolate basically and mixing it together and melting it and putting it with some other stuff. I have a couple of recipes. We'll thank Pinterest for that. I have spent the last several days doing nothing but pinning stuff on Pinterest and finding recipes for this stuff. I found 2 recipes that I really like, and I've come up with a couple that are just kind of in my head that I thought might go well. So we're going to make a few different kinds of chocolates. Right now, I'm doing a test because I don't actually have the chocolate that I need in order to make the candies. So I'm testing my method of melting the chocolate. Basically, this is a method which I suppose I could, no, it'll be easier to do this. This is a method by which you go through and rather than applying heat directly to the chocolate, you're supposed to use what's called a double boiler. Well, I don't have a double boiler, so I'm improvising. I've got my small skillet here, and I've got my large one-handled pot. It's not the double-handled pot or a stock pot or anything like that. It's just a pot with a single handle. And this fits nicely on top of it without falling inside, and while still getting the whole bottom heating surface of this directly underneath the steam. So what I've done is I've got the water over here. I brought it to a light boil and then turned it down. I sat my skillet on top of it to heat. Not 100% certain how to do this. This is my first time doing it. I've read a couple of things that say how you're supposed to do it, but all of them were like by professional candy makers. And they're like, oh, well, you need this thing, and you have to have a candy thermometer, and you have to... Okay. Realistically, I'm not going to the store to buy all of that, and you probably aren't either. So, let's try it this way. I'm going to use Magus as a test subject. We'll find out how they taste, and if they work, they work, and if they don't, well, then maybe we can look at going to a more expensive method or doing something else. But I'm really hoping this works because I like the idea of giving handmade chocolates. It seems like a very Valentine's-y thing to do. So this has been taking a while, and it looks like it's going to take a while longer. We're probably going to fast forward this part. Oh yeah, definitely going to fast forward this part. If you're interested, this is what I have right now. Whoop, I lost one. I'll just put that back in there. Now the good news is it's melting chocolate, so it's really yummy. Very thick. I was thinking maybe you should add like milk to it or something. But everything that I've said says don't. Or everything I've read says don't. I just don't see how this is going to turn into a nice smooth liquid. It certainly doesn't seem like it. Oh, I know. The first chocolate that I'm going to make, because I don't have all the ingredients that I want, I'm actually going to make chocolate covered craisins because I happen to have some of these at home. This is what we're going to do when we're testing our chocolatey melty method. And then, again, we're poor, right? We're not going to go out and buy special candy making dishes. I mean, if that's your thing, go ahead. But I already said, I'm on a budget. Buying the chocolate is going to be the big expense of this. Well, and the other ingredients. So what I've got here is whatever the heck this thing is called, but it's actually an ice cube, an ice tray, but it's that flexible material stuff so that hopefully when I get done with them I can just push my thumbs in the bottom of it and pop them right out. So we'll see how that works. I'll let you guys know. I'm also thinking I might want to try doing like a lining on the inside of it with, you know, I guess you could do kitchen spray like you do with cookies. But I've actually, if I can find it, I've got this really cool olive oil spritzer thingy. So we'll test it out first, see how it works. If they just pop out, then we'll go with that. If they don't, then, you know, we'll go another method. Now, I'm going to be going to the store after I get done with this. That's why I don't have my apron on, but it is hanging back here. And you will get messy. I've already had to clean my glasses off like 3 times. Oh, while I'm waiting for that to melt, I should probably make some tea. This is a tea time. So, oh, and I've got new toys since last time you saw, so I'll have to share them. Da-da. Pull out my handy dandy teapot. This is like my old-fashioned one. I think I've showed it to you before. I just use it for heating the water because you can't put a stainless steel one on the stove. And my new toys are in the cabinet. Sorry I have to keep walking back here. I don't know how well you guys can hear me or not. So these are my new toys. This one you probably recognize. It's just another glass mug with a built-in infuser and a lid on it. This one is, I've been told it's like a French press for coffee, but it's for tea. And it's awesome. You just put the tea leaves and whatever in here, and then you brew it, and then when you're done, you set it on the cup, and it all just kind of drains out. Really cool. I'll go get the tea. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I had a hard time figuring out a chocolate that would go with, or a tea that would go with chocolate. And I don't know that I found one, but I didn't find one that really made sense. So this is blood orange sorbet. It's an oolong. We're going to be brewing it today. And it sounds like my water's almost done. Pardon my mess. I'm a messy cook. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar first. I like mine a little sweeter than most people. Well, I shouldn't say than most people. I like mine a little sweeter than the people I normally share tea with, so I'm going to do 3 teaspoons of rock sugar, or regular sugar if you're using that. And this calls for 1 to 1.5 teaspoons. We're actually going to do 3. Again, I like mine a little bit stronger than it seems like most people do. Brewing time on this is 3 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and pull this off. And just pour it in directly. About halfway full. Because this one is designed to make 2 servings. Get the word right eventually. And this chocolate just does not seem to be melting. Look at this. It's still a rock. I have an idea. I bet I threw it away. It says to bring the water up to a higher boil. This may not actually work because you see how much, well, you probably can't. Oh, a little bit. See these little wisps of steam that are escaping? With a double boiler, those don't happen. I'm not really certain how to stop that, other than by putting a lid on it, which, if I put the lid on it, I can't put the, so. Not sure how we're going to fix this, but we're going to keep trying. It's already seeping, turning a nice brown color there. Ooh, maybe if I put the lid on top of the chocolate. I don't think you're actually supposed to do that, but we're going to try it. Like I said, this is my first time doing this. So let's test a theory. I normally cook my rice in there, and how I get it to steam is I put the lid on it just like that. So, let's test. Can't actually tell if this is helping yet, but our tea should be done. Are you watching that? Put a little bit too much water in there, but there we have. It's a nice amber color against the back. Ooh. Try to get that circled right. Oh, there we go. See? Nice amber color. My nose is a little stuffed up, so I can't really smell it. And it's really hot right now. I can't really drink it either. Can't even hold the cup. It's that hot. We're going to set that to the side for right now. Happy birthday to you. You know, if you guys have done this at home, by this point I'm already going to be done making chocolates, but feel free to leave me comments and tell me how this is actually supposed to work. Let's test. Doesn't appear to be working. It might be the chocolate. The chocolate that I'm using to do this test is kind of old. So we're going to pull some out and we're going to microwave it. I really think it's my chocolate. This chocolate is plenty hot and it's plenty soft, but it's not turning liquidy. Okay, yeah guys, it's official. It's my chocolate. For reference, this mixing glass is so hot I can't actually touch it right now. And the chocolate in here is burnt and still not liquid. So we're just going to go ahead and stop this, throw that away, clean the pot up, go to the store, get some real chocolate. By the time we get back, we'll have cooled off tea and we can start over. Be right back. Alright guys, we are back. I've got my comfy clothes on, aka my pajamas. Got my apron. Made for me, courtesy of my mama, a while ago. No, I do not actually work for shoes. Mom just thought it was cute. So, we have real melting chocolate. This one, supposedly, I can melt it in the microwave. We're going to try it on this, though. Because if it doesn't work, we can always put it back in the tray and microwave. I think. Maybe. Comes in a big bar. Ugh. Blood orange sorbet. Like I said previously, this is an oolong. When you taste it, really don't know where they're getting the blood orange thing. I've actually had blood orange sorbet, like in sorbet form as opposed to tea form. Doesn't really taste anything like this, but nonetheless, this is quite good. I added extra sweetener. I told you guys about that because I wanted it a little bit sweeter, which gives it a very mellow flavor. I still can't smell anything, so I can't tell you what it smells like. Sorry. This tea doesn't have a really strong tannin like I normally find in oolongs. But what you are getting when you taste it is a very mellow sort of citrus flavor, but not really a citrus flavor. I don't even really know how to describe it. It's very smooth, kind of floral, has a little bit of an orange aftertaste to it, but mostly you're just getting that smooth floral yumminess. So it's quite good. So I've got my chocolate. I'm going to try melting this after things get going. Hopefully this goes better than the other one. I'm going to go ahead. My water is not yet hot, but I'm going to go ahead and put my my skillet on top of my pan to heat it up. While I was at the store, I actually did a quick look around to see if there was a double boiler and how much it cost. They didn't have one. So, for better or for worse, we are going to make this work for the microwave because it came with microwave instructions. And I am going to be right back while I go fetch some additional ingredients that we're going to use in order to make this. Okay, so I mentioned we're going to be making the cranberry chocolates. I'm also going to be doing chocolate covered strawberries with a twist. These strawberries are going to be strawberry cheesecake dipped in chocolate. I really think that that's going to turn out well. The problem is I don't know how well it's going to keep. So we're only going to make a small batch today because Valentine's Day isn't for, well, more than a week at this point. So I'm going to make a small batch today and we'll see how the rest of that goes. Okay, my water is boiling, my pan is hot. We're going to go ahead and turn the water down so that it stops boiling. We want it to be at a soft simmer, not at a boil. Because we don't want the pan to get too, I don't know, something. Everybody said that it needed to be at a simmer, not at a boil. For those of you who don't know the difference, a boil is when there are lots of big bubbles and they're spinning round and round and round like this. A simmer is when there's little bubbles kind of interspersed, and they have a much slower movement to them. We're going to go ahead and get this chocolate in a little bit smaller pieces here because I've got some kind of big chunks. Oh my, yes. Okay. Don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Not well at all if I don't turn the light on. But what you can see here, that chocolate, I'm trying to get a good light here, is just melting across the bottom of this pan. So this is good chocolate. This is what that other chocolate was supposed to do when it was just sitting there in a clump. Makes me feel much better about my chances of getting this and getting it done right. This is why you have to buy the good chocolate. Now, if you want to know how to get the good chocolate, the easiest way is to go to your baking aisle in your grocery store, and they have baker's chocolate. Comes in big old bars. I showed you how big that bar it came in, how big the package was. One big old chunk, and it actually says, like on the package, that it's for melting most of the time. Now you need to be careful because not all of those big giant bars, in fact most commonly if it's not close to a holiday season, what I see is the almond bar with chocolate flavoring. Now if that's what you want to use, that's cool, but what I was going for was the authentic chocolate. So I actually needed to make sure that I wasn't grabbing the almond one, I was grabbing the chocolate. Now I had, yes. So while I was also at the store, I discovered, now I have 2 of these already, but no, Jana, this one's Mommy's. You want one to play with?
I can play with it.
Okay. Here you go. No, this one is Mommy's. Mommy's using it. This chocolate, the bar chocolate, sorry for the break there, is specifically designed with melting in mind. Now, from what I understand, the reason that it works better than, oh, say, chocolate chips for melting is because, here you go. Alright, you go play at the table, okay? With your pot and your pan. The reason that it is better for melting than, oh, say, chocolate chips is because chocolate chips have a chemical that is added to them to help them maintain their chocolate chip form. And this bar chocolate doesn't have that additive in it. Now the additive isn't a bad thing, it's not a preservative, it's literally just something that is used to help the chocolate maintain its form and keep it from, you know, making a mess. Now this is melting so well. In fact, I'm almost done melting it. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to go ahead and get my test form ready. And I'm going to dip out some of this chocolate, if I can, because we are going to coat the bottom of these forms with chocolate before we put
Mama's using it.
Yeah, Mama's using it, see? Before we put the craisins in it. So almost done here. Well, not almost done, I've got 3. Whew! That steam coming off the side of there is hot. Go figure, right? Steam. actually going to turn the heat down on that a bit. Ouch. Trying not to burn myself, not succeeding. I haven't burnt myself. When I say I'm trying not to burn myself, what I mean is I'm trying not to scald my fingers. Okay, I think 9 is enough for right now. Now, if you look at the recipe, it says that we're supposed to remove it from heat once it gets to a certain temperature. So, do that. We're going to go ahead and pull some of our raisins out. And just kind of dribble some in each little bite. I put a few more in them than I meant to, but I guess that'll be okay. Who's going to complain about more craisins? Not me. So now we're going to take our chocolate. I don't know how well you guys can see this again, sorry. And I'm just dumping the chocolate over top of the craisins that I put in this little form.
A raisin chocolate.
Now when I melt the rest of this chocolate to do the chocolate dipping, I am probably, Jana, get back. I am probably going to do it in a smaller pan, or at least transfer it over to a smaller pan to make the dipping easier.
I dumped the milk.
You dropped the milk?
I dumped the milk.
We'll pick it up. Jana, we do not leave things that we dropped in the floor on the floor. We pick them up. Can you pick up the milk?
Yeah.
Thank you. Alright, so we're just going to do this, and then show you guys what this looks like. I'm going to tilt the camera down a bit. I've got liquid chocolate. You can tell the forms that I have chocolate in versus the forms that I don't. And, oops, that one's not. Chocolate wasn't completely covering everything in that one. So, now that we've got that done, we're going to take these little chocolate forms that we've got. I'm making these for my brother. If I was making them for somebody that wasn't family or my boyfriend, I wouldn't be sticking my finger in it. But it's for family, and I really don't care because the chocolate's good. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them in the fridge. You don't have to put them in the fridge. You can leave them out and to sit. But I'm going to put these in the fridge so that they'll cool off faster. I'll tell you about how long that takes. Okay, hey guys, we're going to go ahead and get some parchment ready for our chocolate covered cheesecake filled strawberries. Now I've got parchment paper here. You can also use wax paper. I wouldn't suggest using saran wrap, but aluminum foil also works nicely. I've got a cooking sheet. You can do it just on the countertop if you want, but I don't really have a lot of countertop space. So I'm putting it on the cookie sheet so that once the strawberries are on here, I can transpose them over to the table. We're going to put this parchment sheet down on the cookie tray. It doesn't have to be an exact fit, but it needs to be able to, you need to be able to put your strawberries on there. Now, before I get started melting the chocolate for this go-round, I'm actually going to get my cutting board out down here and get the strawberries prepped because that chocolate melted really fast. So, don't even know why that's over here. So we're going to get the strawberries prepped first. Now I've got some strawberries here. Strawberries this time of year aren't really in season. So you're either going to find ones that are a little bit underripe or ones that are a little bit overripe. If you're doing this on Friday before Valentine's Day, or you know, Friday afternoon or whatever, before you go on your date on Friday night, then you can get the ones that are all the way ripe. Otherwise, I'd actually go with the ones that are a little bit underripe, because your overripe ones, they're going to get softer faster, which is cool, but you don't want them to go bad. So I've got strawberries here, and we're going to be doing two different recipes with them. We're going to be doing the cheesecake filled ones, and we're also going to be doing strawberry hearts, which are a little bit different, a little bit easier to handle. You're going to need, for that, you're going to need strawberries and chocolate and toothpicks. So what we're going to start with is we're going to take our strawberries, and I'm going to have to show you this step by step as I do it, because unfortunately I don't have a real camera to where I can just put it over top here. I've got the laptop. So as much as I love the laptop, thank you honey, thank you brother, thank you. Who donated for my laptop? Who? Thank you, Dios. I'm recording this on the laptop that you helped us buy. So, strawberry. Cut the top off. Easy peasy, everybody cuts the tops off strawberries, right? Unless you're weird, then you don't. Now, this strawberry is one that's kind of oval long ways. I'm actually going to cut it down the middle like this, rather than down the middle like this, because we don't want the hearts to be too big. Cut it all the way down. Then you're going to take your two skinny ends, you're going to push them together, and you're going to take your fat ends, and you're going to kind of push them away. Then we grab toothpicks, wherever I had them, and the basic gist of this and how it works is we find some scissors, because I don't have real toothpicks, I have these weird plastic things, and we cut the brushy part off, because brushy part, weird. You take your toothpick, and you slide it, I don't know if you can see this real well, through your strawberry like such. Then you throw it. No, don't do that part. Then you have what is probably going to be strawberry heart. Now this is something I saw on Pinterest, and I don't know how many of you have seen the new nailed it meme, but let's hope this doesn't turn into one. Now the goal of this is actually to be able to pull strawberry or the toothpick out once you've got it dipped in the chocolate. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually going to do a little bit of shaping on this, make it a little bit more roundy, and so I can eat some strawberry bits. Once that's done, we're going to take and we're going to dip the strawberry in the chocolate. So I'm going to get a few of those ready. I would suggest getting the simple wooden pit toothpicks. Those are going to work much better than these plastic ones for this purpose, because they don't have the little bit that you have to cut off, so they're going to be longer. This is going to be an odd-shaped one. Drug. I've already got my water simmering, so it is good to go. My pan is warm. My strawberries are now done. We're going to take our chocolate, and it's time to melt. Slightly larger chunks this time. Probably going to take longer to melt there. Make a circle that. There we go. I'm actually going to heat my water up a bit. It's not quite doing what I want it to do. Okay, so we've got those 4. And I'll go ahead and show you how to start prepping for the cheesecake filled ones. I need to adjust my camera, sorry. I didn't realize I was cutting the top of my head off. I don't have a taller table, sorry. This one is a little bit more complicated, or at least what I'm going to do with it is slightly more complicated. If I can find the tools that I want. Which I'm missing. Aha! So you don't have to use these. I'm going to be using these decorating bags because I happen to have some. I'm also going to be using a icing tip because I, again, happen to have one. However, you can also use a plastic baggie, like a Ziploc baggie, or any kind of sandwich baggie, and you just spoon the stuff into it and cut one of the corners off, and then you use that to pipe it in. So, like I said, I'm going to be getting a little fancy with it because I can. If you don't have that stuff at home, just grab a sandwich baggie. And if you don't have sandwich baggies, go to the store. They're like $3. Give me that. And no, we'll use a finer tip one. Come here. There we go. Now, stir my chocolate. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of it because that was not much. That last batch. Cut the tip off. Drop the tip in. Drop the little plastic holdery thingy in. Squeeze and twist the nut on. I don't actually know what that's called, but it's called a nut when you use it with a bolt, so nut it is. Now, for my cheesecake filling, I'm actually going to be using Philadelphia cheesecake filling cream cheese. This stuff is awesome. It's up to you if you want to make your own. I'm not providing a recipe for it, but I'm sure you can go on Pinterest or on the internet somewhere and you can find a recipe for cheesecake filling or some other kind of filling that you want to put in there. I like this because it's pre-made. I don't have to think about it, and I get to eat it afterwards with a spoon by itself. I'm probably going to be gaining weight this holiday season. Okay, so open that up. Stir my chocolate. Because you got to. Stir often. I'm actually going to flip my chocolate over. There we go. That piece over. And that piece. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside. We're just going to get a big old spoon. By a big old spoon, I mean a little spoon. And actually, we're not going to do that just yet. Forgive me. We're going to get our strawberries ready first. You want big strawberries for this. Start by cutting their tops off. Then you're going to take and you're going to hollow them out. Really easy. You just cut the inside out. You end up with a hollow strawberry with the bottom still on. I'm going to be making several of those because personally I think they're going to turn out way better than the others. And by way better I mean I'm probably going to eat more of these than I am of the others. Give me the doggone inside this strawberry. And go. Alright. So I'm going to show you with a few. Yes, I did just eat the insides out of those strawberries. What do you want from me? I'm a cook that eats while they cook. You know, I'm one of those people that when you get done cooking, I'm not actually hungry, so I don't eat dinner with you because I've been eating the entire time I've been cooking. Now, I had a spoon. There it is. So we're just going to take our cheesecake and put a few big old globs in there. Sometimes the bag doesn't cooperate. Squeeze it on down. And we take our little thing, and I should have used a bigger pipette or tip. And you just fill in the inside, like so. Use a bigger tip if you're using my method. Stir our chocolate. And to start with this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and seal the top of it off. Seal the top of it off. I'm going to take it, show you here in a second. As soon as I acquire a clean spot. Who is Skyping me? And dipping the top of it in chocolate. Now the reason I'm doing this is to get the cheesecake inside and get it sealed. And I'm just going to sit it upside down on my wax paper. Rinse and repeat. I'm actually going to go ahead, now that the chocolate is mostly melted, I'm going to take my strawberries, I'm going to do the same thing. My strawberry hearts, I'm going to dip the bottom of them in chocolate so that it gives it a good base. And I'm just going to sit them down. And you're going to get messy. If you're dealing with a germaphobe, don't get caught licking your fingers. Like I am. So, the reason I'm doing this is to get these strawberry hearts to start sticking together. Ow. Come here, you stupid strawberry. Okay, I need another toothpick. Ow. Dumb steam. Blech. Okay, this right here is why the Pinterest nailed it thing exists. This is not working the way that they said that it was supposed to. That's okay. We can deal with that by stirring our chocolate. Stirring our chocolate is not actually going to deal with it, but it is going to keep my chocolate from scorching. which it had started to do. If you don't stir your chocolate often, it will scorch at the bottom of your pan, and scorching will make it turn bitter and not smooth. Which is also why this one is now coming off and away from the heat. So, last strawberries. Plop. Let's go ahead and get some cheesecake piped into our other 2 strawberries. Dip the bottoms in and set it down. Dip the bottom in and sit it down. You know what? While we're doing this, why don't we just go ahead and do a couple of good old-fashioned chocolate covered strawberries. As I say that, as I finish cutting the inside out, I want to pipe cheesecake in it. You know what? I'm going to show you how delicious this is. We're just going to put some more on there because there wasn't a whole lot. Oh my god. That's some good stuff. Regular chocolate chip strawberries, you don't cut the tops off of them. You just take the strawberry, hold it by the green part, and kind of roll it around in the chocolate until you get a nice, smooth, even coating. Drip off some of the excess there, and then sit it down. Rinse and repeat. I'm going to make some more chocolate hearts. You want to join me? Not that you have a choice. Okay, so we're back. After the cheesecake bottom ones have formed a little bit, they will look like this. You're simply going to take them and coat them in chocolate all over. The reason we didn't do this the first time is because, well, quite frankly, we didn't want to get cheesecake on our fingers like we're getting chocolate. I think I have a better idea for how to do this, so give me a second to lick the chocolate off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my chocolate here and I'm just going to spoon it out. And over the stuff. So my strawberry hearts aren't really turning out like I envisioned. I may actually have to dip those. But my chocolate covered strawberry cheesecake bites are turning into mounds of cheesecake strawberry deliciousness. Let's test my theory about the strawberry bites. They should be well enough set now that I can just, yep, I pick them up and they hold their form. which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm just going to take them and dip the other side in chocolate. Doing my best not to break them apart. Pick them back up and sit it back down. For reference, this is what they're looking like right now.
There he is. Here.
Swallowed a bit of chocolate badly.
There's chocolate now.
No, Jana, there's no such thing as bad chocolate. I'm going to go ahead and remove the toothpicks from some of these. Now that they're no longer forming. And keep dipping. Notice I'm picking up the spatula here. I'm attempting to fill in the gaps where dipping it isn't working so that all the strawberry bits are covered in chocolate. At least that's the plan.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that one has a toothpick in it or not. Certainly doesn't have a lot of chocolate on it. And all the chocolate on the bottom came off. We're just going to pour some more on it. Sit some down in the spot where it's sitting. Oh man. Oh. Well. This strawberry heart clearly did not have a toothpick in it because it came apart. Again. So, the thought just crossed my head. It's the thought, oh what the heck, it's the thought that counts. Which brings me to a good thought. It's not actually the thought that counts if you're not thinking about the other person. For example, guys, I'm going to kind of dig on you because I'm coming to this from a girl's perspective. The guy would buy me lingerie for Valentine's Day, and that lingerie was the wrong size, a color that I didn't think looked good on me, or something that was so completely outside of my style, I couldn't see myself wearing it ever, much less feeling sexy in it, then at that point, he's not bought that for me. He's bought that for himself. And that thought don't count. Sort of. I am covered, literally covered in chocolate. We're just going to take this chocolate and kind of scoop it out over stuff. I think I got 2 strawberry hearts that look anything like hearts. 2. The rest of them just kind of look like gunk. But that's okay because they will taste delicious. Right. Now you are probably wondering, how in the hell am I going to clean my chocolate covered pan and my chocolate covered spoon? Hot water. Just soak them in hot water, chocolate will dissolve right off. Because licking won't get it all off. Chocolate. Okay guys, pan is cleaned up. Spoon, well, cleaned up. By cleaned up, I mean they're soaking in the fridge. Spoon is cleaned up. I've got my chocolates, my Craisin chocolates that were in the fridge have firmed up. And yep. Okay. It kind of works to pop them out. And by kind of, I mean they actually don't look too bad. So, Magus, let's get the brother in here to test them out. You flushed the potty. Bite.
I'm going to secretly steal the rest of this. Because it's
What do you
terrible.
think?
I mean, it's so terrible. I need to take all of them with me.
There you go. He says they're good. So,
You can actually taste the fruitiness, for lack of a better term, through the chocolate, which is good.
the craisins. Let's see if we have one of these that is even remotely dry. No. I'll bring them back when I have one. So in case you guys were wondering, okay, so the standard chocolate covered strawberries are hardened. That's why one just fell there. I'm going to go ahead and pull those off here so I can show you. The rest of them here. This is the mess that was the rest of it. I've got what appears to be one, possibly two, chocolate covered heart strawberries that turned out the way they were supposed to. Nailed it. Okay guys, here we have our, tilt the camera down, our final product. Our, well, I don't have any of the cheesecake strawberries up here because they're all still drying, but we have our strawberry hearts. These are the two that ended up looking right. This is our cranberry chocolate bars. This is actually the one I'm probably going to be going with to make for Marshall for Valentine's Day because it's the one that looks the neatest, and it will keep longer, which means I can make it now, like this weekend, rather than having to wait until Friday day to make it when he's on his way in. And here we have our standard chocolate covered strawberries. I actually have some white chocolate melting, well, not currently melting, but I have some white chocolate to melt to decorate the final product with later. I'm thinking I'm going to do some kind of piping on top of these boxes just to make it look kind of decorative with the white chocolate. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed getting to cook with me today. Maybe next time we'll make something that is a little bit more tried and true rather than trial and error. Achoo!